Hello. Hello, hello, hello. Hello, I'm live. Happy Friday. How's everybody doing? Happy Friday. I just watched a great movie. I just finished watching it and it was kind of cool. I'm going to tell you that story after I light my candle. Let me see. I'm going to light this one. The Come On Baby, Light My Fire. Because it's the one that's sitting here. Hi, Anthony. Hello, how are you? I just finished watching a movie and it was kind of cool because I started watching it last night. Hi, Elsa. Hi, how are you? Started watching it last night and I didn't finish it. But when I prayed before I went to bed last night, the movie kind of made me emotional because I really identified with a girl in the movie. And I didn't have time to finish watching it. I had to go to bed. Maybe it was like the night, maybe it was Wednesday night when I started watching it. I don't know, but because I had to work. I worked early Thursday and I worked from noon to 4 today. I'm gonna light this, then I'll finish my story. This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine, let it shine, let it shine, let it shine. Red's followers are called flames, so that's why I do that. How's everybody doing? So I forgot to show you guys the card. Where's my other card? This is a card from Serenity. I get a card every month from Serenity Studio Art. And because I didn't go to my P.O. box very often, I got this one late. This was, I guess, March's card? I don't know. Here's the one I got this month. Here's the one I just got. This is the one I forgot to show you. So that's my friend Diana, Serenity Studio Art. I'm a member of her channel. I'm trying to save money for my move to New Jersey or Pennsylvania. This is my book where I'm writing down everything and I'm saving money. I had way too much stuff to write down before, but yeah, and it's getting better. It's getting better. So that's a plus. But the downside is I have lowered some memberships and gotten rid of some YouTube memberships, or stopped some YouTube memberships. And so I was sorry to have to do that, but I'm really, really, really cutting back. So let me play something on my flute. This is like the only time I play my flute. I should play it more often, and I need to polish it because you see it's tarnished. It's really tarnished. I'm gonna need to polish it soon. There we go. So, let me drop Serenity Studio Arts. I want to drop Diana's link for you. Let me find it real quick. And drop it and okay, so the cool thing about this movie is I was like, oh, I really want to watch the rest of that. Because I was gonna mention the movie and I'm like, but I haven't watched the whole thing. I really don't want to recommend a movie if I haven't watched the whole thing. And I was like, I wonder if I have time to watch the rest of it. And it turned out like I had just enough time. Like it just ended. I mean, that's kind of like why I'm late, but the movie just ended. Here's Serenity Studio Art. My eyes on my keyboard is bothering me. It's broken. Sometimes it works when I push it. Sometimes it doesn't. I want to give you. Let me let you see this movie is not a recent movie, but I found it on Netflix. It's from 2016. And they have some old movies on Netflix. Like recently, like for a time, I guess they don't always have all the old movies. I guess they rotate them out and stuff. Like I recently watched again You've Got Mail. That's what I watched. I want to share this movie trailer. I was looking for that movie that you mentioned, For All Time, Elsa. I could not find that one. That's not on. And one of the things I stopped doing is you can find a lot of movies if you're willing to pay like $4.99 and you can rent them, which is cheaper than going to a movie now because it's like $10 or something to go to a movie. Sometimes it's more. Hey, Bren. Hi. How are you? So yeah, I could find a lot of movies and like I might be able to rent that one sometime. Like a new month started, and so like I was really like I even ran out of milk for my coffee because I put milk in my coffee, and I had some powdered creamer. And so since it wasn't technically May yet, it wasn't technically a new month, I'm like, I'm not supposed to spend any more money on food or anything. I need to stop. And I spent a lot less than I usually do, but I still spent a lot. But I spent, you want me to tell you? It's really bad for one person, $400. But I used to spend a lot more than that in a month on food and eating out and all that. YouTube free. Is it on YouTube free movies though? I don't think that one is because I looked for it. Oh, sometimes Apple. I went from Apple TV and it's a lot cheaper than the movie theater. Yeah. But so I would rent it for $4.99 and I was renting I had Amazon Prime, which I stopped because that's really expensive and I wasn't really buying anything on Amazon, which is good. Where I spent a lot of money would be on food and then like little things I see for my this I got for myself. But I'm gonna eventually probably give it to Freya with a Little Mermaid. So it's like I got a bunch of things for the babies. Like I'm like, I don't need to buy anything to bring the baby. I got I forgot to blow my bubbles. Um, so yeah, so I'm saving money, which is good. And this is funny. I sort of laughed today. I went and got the mail, and for my trip when I drove to Philly in Pennsylvania, I was complaining about the Pennsylvania Turnpike because I paid them, and then they sent me 2 more bills. And I've just ignored those, and I haven't gotten any more. So I think that maybe they were mistakes because I did pay them, already. And I was like, did I pay the wrong amount? Like, what, what's this? And I was like, maybe I should call them, and I haven't called them. And then this is the Kansas Turnpike. I sent them $20, and then they sent me back 20. They sent me back the $20 I paid them. And there's not even a letter or anything. It says refund. So I don't know, with their records or something like that, they maybe decided I overpaid them. I don't know, because I did pay at some of the toll booths, and I didn't question it. I just I get a bill, I pay it, and which, sometimes I need to wait. I'm like impatient, and I've gotten in a lot of trouble because of being impatient, you guys. I've gotten in a lot of trouble for being impatient. And that kind of will ties into the prayer, the subject. I'm talking about prayer tonight, right? Oh, I'm sorry about your ducky. One of my girls' ducks. Her name is Wanda. Oh, is that like the commercial? No. Isn't that in Babe, the movie Babe? She disappeared in one of the storms. So yeah, speaking of that and gifts for my grandbabies, I'll show you. I got rubber duckies. 2 of them. I got this one at Christmas, but I didn't give it to my grandbaby yet. So I have to take a big suitcase to take all my presents, but I'm probably going to keep one of the ducks, but I might give them the little one just because this one takes up too much room. But I did a video with the ducky singing the song, Rubber Ducky, you're my friend. We'll be together till the end. Rubber Ducky, I'm awfully fond of you. From Sesame Street. So, and there's a story that goes with that. My dad, when we would go camping, and just about every summer we would go to Yosemite. We would go camping at Yosemite. And we had this big rubber raft. And, and I used to watch Sesame Street, and Ernie would always sing the Rubber Ducky song. And so he would call the yellow raft his Rubber Ducky. And he would say, "Where's my rubber ducky?" So that's a funny thing about my dad. And so in this movie that I wanted to tell you about, all the movies that I'm like, wow, after I saw the end of it, the rest of it, I was like, wow, I have a new favorite movie. And it's called Carrie Pilby. And I want to share the link to the thing. Has anybody seen it? It's really cute. There's my eye goes not working again. So I want to share with you the thing and see. It's about a 19-year-old girl. And it says it's 2017. I thought it was 2016. Um, so it's this 19-year-old girl from London, and she's a like genius, and so she gets sent to college at Harvard, and she's 19 and she's graduated from Harvard, and she's living in New York City by herself, and she has this therapist, and she's like really a recluse, but her dad is in touch with her, and her dad gets her this therapist, and so the therapist tells her, I want you to do these things. I want you to make a friend. I want you to go on a date. I want you to get a pet and all these things, because she's just keeps to herself and all of this stuff. And so it's just really cute. And she meets a couple of guys and things go wrong, and ended up I was unsure at first if it was a flashback or not. I was like, okay, I think that's a flashback, where she gets into this relationship with her professor. And this is the thing, because she's like only, she tells her dad at the end that she was 16. She was like, can we get him fired? And she said, well, I think he is fired because he works at Columbia now. He doesn't work at Harvard. He works at a different. So it's called Carrie Pilby. If you're interested, I thought it was a very good movie. And what was so interesting and so providential, I thought, because I always pray about these things, and I do when it's something like that. I often will say, I got Siri, flip a coin. Siri, flip a coin. It says heads. That means no. But I got in trouble with someone was offended about that, and that could take me right into the next thing of people getting onto you on YouTube and social media, trolls and whatnot. But yeah, I don't know that I want to go into that. Let me share this link. Wait. I'll pray for those people, right? Okay. Movie. So yeah, it either won't do the eye, or there it does it the eye twice. How's everybody doing tonight? But what was so interesting is, so I was like, I don't know if I have time to watch the rest of the movie. It was about, 5:30 or something like that. And I had set up this this live. I'd set up this live and done my I kept my Canva. Canva's $12.99 a month. I almost canceled Canva, but I didn't. And I'm like, if I'm gonna keep it, I need to use it. So that's why I've been trying to, at least for my lives, make a little thumbnail with the Canva. It's an app for social media and making things. Oh yes, I saw that. Yeah, because I really like her and I hadn't listened to her in a while. And yeah, that's what I should do. I should go to the Canva free version. I saw that. That is a good song. That is an awesome song. Yeah. In fact, I'm gonna share that on my community tab. I meant to, but I didn't get a chance, or I didn't have time after I listened to it. But yeah, that's an awesome song. So, what was interesting, so interesting about me choosing the topic of prayer and then thinking about this movie and how I really related to the character. That's why, like in past movies, like I like the movie Runaway Bride. It's a really relate to the character. And Ella Enchanted, I really relate to the character. You know, she's not she has to do like, and she's cursed. She has to do whatever people tell her to do, right? And so I really related to this character in Carrie Pilby, and so I was like, okay, but before I mention it, I need to watch the rest of the movie. And it did not disappoint. The rest of the movie was even great than the first part of the movie. And like her mom has passed away, and she's like, her dad's saying, come to London, come home to London for Christmas. And she's like, I hate London. I hate London. It's like, what did she say? She says something about the weather, but she's from London and her mom died, you know, there. So and then he sent her to school in America, and she's living in New York City, but she's by herself. And then he got her this therapist who tells her all these things, you know, get a pet. So she gets 2 goldfish, and she names them Spencer Tracy and Katharine Hepburn. Well, the one goldfish dies. And she takes it back to it's so funny. It's a cute movie. So check it out, especially if I have the $6.99 version of Netflix. You can get a $6.99 version. So it has some commercials, but they're not a lot. So she takes the goldfish back, and she's arguing with the guy at the pet store, because one of her, you know, assignments from the therapist was get a pet, go on a date, make a friend. And she her dad gets her a job copywriting, like I don't understand really what the job is, but anyways. And there's just 2 other people she works with, and they are characters too. They're really interesting. And she's friends with the woman, and then they're like, go out on New Year's Eve, and she goes out on New Year's Eve, and it's just so cute. And there's this guy, she thinks he's homeless, that plays this what does she call it? She calls it a gibberty Jew or something like that. She made up a name for it. He plays this interesting instrument made out of wood. You know, she's like, don't you need to play your gibbery Jew or gibberty Jew or whatever? And she just, this character is so funny. But it's just really cute movie. So what was so interesting is that I was like, should I watch the rest of this movie? And I flipped a coin on my phone, and it was yes. And so I turned it on, and then it's Christmas, and she hasn't gone back to London because she didn't want to. She told her dad she didn't want to. And she found out he's someone he's seen, you know, and he wants her to meet this woman and her children. And, you know, she's like, my dad has a whole new family, when she's talking to the neighbor next door. But she's trying to check off these things on the list from the therapist. And it's just really cute. And then, so the next thing you know, she's nerdy, you know, they call her nerdy. She's really smart because she went to college at 14. She makes a tree for Christmas tree out of books. And she puts the lights on them. And then the next thing you know, I turn, you know, the movie back on, and boom, she's praying. She says, it's so cute. I wish I could maybe I can find the link to it. But she's got, I'm not really sure if you exist. And she says, but if you do, and she prays, and she doesn't even ask. She's like, there's a few things I want to ask you for. And she doesn't even pray. And I noticed, like, I'm like, she didn't even pray for herself. I'm like, oh, she's going to ask for the book back. Because this college professor took advantage of her, really. And she had loaned him her J.D. Salinger book. And she didn't get it back. And so, but it's a long, I won't go into the whole movie, but because we're going to talk about prayer, we are, but I just thought it interesting that I did think about watching that movie and should I, and then I felt like I should. So it is actually the name. I thought she made up the name actually, but it is actually the name. I was wondering that. Thank you, Fred. I was wondering that. I'm like, maybe that is actually the name. Digger Lou. Let me see something. Let me Google it real quick. So yeah. So, and it turns out he has this neighbor has a roommate that he's really, really annoying. She's like, all he does. Okay. She's like, all he does is lie. He says that about his neighbor. Yeah, that's it. Mm-hmm. Okay. I was wondering if she like made it up or what. But yeah, he plays that and she thinks like he's homeless. And he's like, no, I just can't stand my roommate. And he doesn't want me to play my instrument in the apartment. And so it's really cute movie. And there's like, she answers this advertisement to go on the date with this guy who is engaged, and she's so angry. And this is what this reminds me of me. I was very even like before I got married, even during my marriage and afterwards, thinking I was very idealistic and very perfectionistic and very and she says this in her prayer when she's praying to God, who she's not sure exists. She says, I'm sorry for being so judgmental. She says that. But so she sees this ad and the guy's engaged and she's mad. She wants to expose him. So she answers the ad. She calls him. And then she meets him and she's like, oh, you're supposed to be like, she ends up liking him. He's like a book nerd, like her and stuff. And she's like, oh, I'm supposed to not like you. You're a narcissistic, jerk, and she's like, I'm not supposed to like you because I was going to expose you. And two, in the course of the movie, she finds out she sees her therapist with someone else and he's married. And so it's really interesting. I don't want to give it all away, but look it up. Carrie Pilby. It's a good movie. And I just kind of relate. I feel like I'm here in my it's a good thing I got a job, because now I go to my job, I get out and I socialize, and because I'm kind of a hermit here. I kind of am. I go to work, I go to church. That's what I do. I go to work, I go to church. I haven't been on a date in a while. Maybe not as long as Carrie Pilby. I don't know. But I don't know. No, I don't think it had been that long since she'd been on a date either, because she was dating her professor. But anyways, but it was so cute, and it was interesting that I turned on the end of it, and then she prayed, and I thought that was pretty cool. And there's another thing I wanted to tell you guys. Before we go into more about prayer, is I was on my phone today looking through all of my messages on my phone, and I'm like, I need to delete these messages. And I said to myself, how far do these messages go back? Whoa, a lot of unknowns. And you guys, I even want you to listen to this. I found a message from my sister-in-law from 2018. Oh, wait. This made me kind of emotional at work. Oh, that's another one. That's not the first one I found. Wait. I thought it was going to be louder. Oh, here it is. Okay, well, have a good trip. Be safe. Love you. Bye-bye. Hey, Carol. Hi. How are you? Thanks for coming in. Okay, well, have a good trip. Be safe. Love you. Bye-bye. Have a good trip. I don't even know where I was going at the time. I wasn't going there because it's October 2018. October. I'm good. I'm good. So I was going through my messages, and you guys, I found that my phone has saved people I've blocked. They've left me messages, and it saved them. And I don't want to go into it a lot, because I discovered, and I was at work, it was my time off the stand. I was at work, and God can even lead you in little things like this. So I guess it kind of applies to the theme about prayer, because I feel like God can guide us in even little things in our everyday life like this. And I mentioned before that I have a family member that is a stalker, and that it's just been so toxic in my life for my entire life that I've had to cut them out of my life. And they make fake accounts. They comment on they're stalking, really. It's like called stalking behavior. They So was it an email? I'm gonna feel like I'm if you want I'll put my email. My email is redheadedridinghood@gmail.com, and Carol's is her channel name, Glorious Life on Wheels @gmail.com. So that's how you contact Carol. So anyways, so I found these messages today, and I was at work. I worked 12 to 4 today, and it was a time when I was off the stand, and I was looking on my phone, and I don't know how I got into because I noticed I have a lot of messages, and I keep getting messages. The person who had my new Colorado number that I got was living in Arizona, and I'm getting all of these messages from schools. They have a child in school. I got from their dentist, from their doctor, about doctor's appointments, about yeah. Although since I know this person, I've known them my whole life, I don't think they're dangerous in that way. I definitely wouldn't want to live near them, though. I wouldn't want to live near them because they are the type of person that would like show up, at my door or something. Because I had a friend that was, it was funny. They had the same name. I had a friend in Georgia who was my best friend for a while, because that's how that I had to break off friendship with, because she was narcissistic and she was toxic, and she did all sorts of crazy things. And it's funny, she has the same name as this person I'm talking about. I don't want to say too much because I don't want to get them riled up. And but I found like all these messages in my blocked messages, which I'm so thankful that I just discovered this. I'm so thankful that I did not know that you could listen to block message. I thought you block someone, you block them, you don't, get any of their messages, or, you block them. And she said horrible things to me. When a family member had passed, she was saying horrible things to me and accusing me of horrible things. And there were all these messages from 2018 in my blocked messages. And I'm looking at this in shock. First I was pleasantly surprised to find the message from my sister-in-law, because she was a very good friend and I was closer to her than my brother. And I was glad to have that message. And also there's messages on there from my brother, not the one that last passed away. That was 2018. But anyways, all these messages, and I am at work and I'm like, I should not listen to these because I bet they're bad. And I did flip the coin again. I flipped the coin on my phone and I was like, yeah, I think that's right. And it was no. But then when I got home, I'm being curious and I'm like, I bet if I do listen to them, it's going to confirm that I have done the right things in taking these steps. And she had called me with a new number, because I blocked, her number. I blocked her number. And then how she got through to me when this family member passed, my brother passed, was with a new number. But it said the city where she lives, and I was pretty sure it was her. So I picked it up. And, she's telling me what's going on there. But then she starts being abusive to me again, verbally abusive. and calling me things and everything. And so when I got home, I was praying about it again. And I have been praying for her. I've been praying for her. I, don't pray for her as much as like I pray for my children, but I pray for her. So I prayed about it again, and I did listen to the messages, and I was right. They did confirm that, like, and first, and just they were bad. Let's just say that. You don't open any links. Oh, I don't know. Did you send you a link in the email? Bren, did you send Carol a link? Yeah, I don't open links in emails. That's one of my prayer alerts on my phone. That's a reminder to pray for my mother-in-law. My parents are both passed on now. My mom passed in 2009 and my dad passed in 2020. But my in-laws are still living, and they're getting up there. My father-in-law is almost 8. I think he's 80 next year. And my mother-in-law is going to be 84 this year. So yeah, and they're pretty healthy, but they have had some things. So I've been like, I need to pray for my in-laws. I don't see them anymore, but I wouldn't mind seeing them if I ever do go to Florida, though. But of course, they're sided with their son. So, but I don't think it would. I mean, I was married to him for 32 years, actually, technically. But yeah, we were married 30 years. And so I said before that I was, and I wondered about this, and I was like, maybe he has heard. So I talk about the date rape that happened to me in 2017. There was a message from that guy on there because I had blocked him after that. Oh. I'm so sorry. Let me pray for you right now, Elsa. I'm sorry. But he's checking on you. So he's checking on you. That's good. I can pray for you right now. It reminds me of something like in the movie, like she screams, it was on Christmas, and like she's in her apartment and she screams, and I'm like, she doesn't say why, but I'm thinking like, oh, she wants to see if anybody will hear her if she screams. She lives alone, and she's alone on Christmas, and she screams. Well, the neighbor, he shows up, and he shows up at her. I think he comes to her door, but often he comes to her window on the fire escape. He shows up at her window. But let me pray for you right now, Elsa. Lord, I pray that you would be with Elsa, Lord, and calm her heart, Lord, and help her to work out these things. Lord, relationships are so hard. And I just pray that you would always guide us, Lord, in our relationships and how to respond in certain situations. And I just thank you for our relationships, Lord. I thank you for these YouTube friends and followers, and I pray that you bless them all, Lord. And please be with Elsa in her situation and give her guidance, Lord. And thank you that her son checked on her, Lord. I pray these things in Jesus' name. Amen. But I put on the I put on my thumbnail can I get a connection? And that's in a reference to One Republic song that I posted on my community tab. It's also in Brad's inspirational songs. And in my devotion that I share all the time, there's one where he talks about before there were phones. He talks about, I think it was Charles Wesley. It was one of the preachers of the olden days, and I think it was Charles Wesley. But anyways, Charles Wesley was writing to his wife and saying, pray with me, while I'm away, pray with me at this time and at this time. And like that will connect us. We'll both be going to God's throne at the same time. And I was thinking about that and what happened with my kids and not having a connection with them was so devastating to me that I shared this before, that I was so depressed in 2019. And then I was away from God and I wasn't praying as much for 2 years, and not having as many boundaries and everything, it just really messed me up. I feel like it really set me back and delayed my healing. But I came back to God in 2021 and started praying again. And I was going to a friend's channel. I'll share that channel too, but I'm going to share that song first that I was talking about. It's by One Republic. Okay, so back to my story. So this channel I was praying about those broken, lost connections with my children. And she doesn't go live as much, and it's called Norgis. And I heard of her from my friend Diana Brianne Fairchild. And she has gone live like 2 weeks ago. But anyway, so my friend, and I interviewed her on my channel too. But they were praying with me because I had been very, especially shy about sharing about it on YouTube. And I hadn't shared it on my YouTube as much. Thank you all for being here. I hope I'm not boring anybody. I got 3 watching. Thank you all for being here. So her channel is Norgis R. I also did interview her, but they would pray and stuff on her channel. So, and that's what I feel. And right after that, my middle daughter contacted me in June of 2022. And I was so thankful. I was so thankful for their prayers. And And that's what I feel like. I feel like I'm still disconnected from a couple of my kids, but I feel like I have that connection because I'm praying for them. And I'm still open to them, contacting me. And that was one of the reasons why I got my old number back also. But I'm going to say my storm poem because, so my channel has become a lot about prayer, especially since I came back to God. And this poem, the storm poem, which is in the 7-Story Tree, is like my favorite poem. And it came out of a storm that happened and a situation in my family that was very hard. And so I don't actually say what the situation was, but the poem is about prayer. And I decided to do this subject because, even my job, I was like, I'm just praying a lot on my job. And then I'm meeting people that, have issues and situations, and I'm praying for them. And so I'm going to get me my drink. I'll be right back. It did get me. I got the cheap root beer, you guys. Look. Thank you. Thanks, Carol. Thanks for popping in. Thank you so much. Carol has inspired me a lot on my channel. Thank you so much for popping in, Carol. I really, really appreciate it. So yeah, she's inspired my channel a lot. But anyways, I wanted to share Norgis because I felt like that prayer was instrumental, and then God was definitely working on her heart, and I was praying again. I was praying. Well, I never really, the one child that always concerns me really kept me praying. I would keep praying just because I felt like there was nothing else I could do, and I had to pray for, my children, and especially that one with the issues. So I'm going to say a storm poem that's in the 7-Story Tree. That's my Claire Bear alarm to pray for. So it goes off on their birthdays. So like, say mine's too late, so I don't set it to pray for I remember to pray for myself. Yes, you have inspired me. Yes, you're very inspirational, and I love that you help people, because that's important. And yeah, so I'm going to say the poem. It's in this book, and so if you want a copy of my book, you can send a donation of any amount to my PayPal, Venmo, or Cash App, and then email me your snail mail address, and I'll send you a signed copy of the 7-Story Tree. This is from 2015. Now I'm going to say the poem. You say that no one cares for you? Well, that's not true, because I do, and God does too. Oh, that I could fix your problem. I'd mend you up. You no longer be stuck in that addiction or depression, the trials that come in rapid succession. But what can I do? I cannot fix you. I can't make you believe or even relieve that deep ache in your heart. Just where do I start? Don't do nothing, she yelled at me. Well, what should I do? Scream and shout and run about? Perhaps sit and pout? No, I'll fight a war upon my knees. In quietness and confidence shall be my strength. He keeps my prayers and my tears. Perhaps the overflow makes the rain to water all the pain upon the earth. I'll thank him for this thorn. I'll praise him even when I'm worn, because he carries me through the storm. He walks to me on the tempest sea. The rain brings life back to my dying tree. And one day through the clouds I'll see the rainbow. So that's in this one. And that's like one of my favorite poems. So, yeah. Okay. I'm going to Philly next Wednesday. And I talked to Albert, who's my extra son, and he's going to be able to take me to the airport. Because I'm going in the morning. He's just going to take me early, I guess, before he goes to work. So I'm excited. I still work Monday and Tuesday. And I told you guys, my boss's name is Lydia, like my youngest child. Only Lydia, my boss, is younger than my youngest child. Because my youngest child is 23. Yeah, she's 23. And I get Incredible Teeny Homes emails. There's me and Freya. You can't, my message here is, oh, okay, there you go. There's me and Freya. But so I'm excited. I'm going on the 8th. I'm coming back on the 17th. So my next paycheck is going to be left at work for me to pick up when I come back. And then I finally got the direct deposit. Because did I tell you guys, like, my last paycheck was lost in the mail. Thank you. That's the one I said at the campfire at, I said that one, and then I said the elephant one. Yeah. Yeah, it's one of my favorites. And because there's always something you can do, but it's like being codependent, you want to fix people, you want to, you want to do something. 2 watching. Okay, thank you for being here. I wish it was more than 2, but anyways, thank you for being here. Hopefully a lot of people will watch the replay. So I know there's other people that are going live on Friday night, but I found that I like going live on Friday night because I'm done with my work week now. Before, when I wasn't, working, I was working on my YouTube and stuff, but going live on Monday was fine. But sometimes I was just too tired. I have to get up really early the next day if I'm working at 5:15, and yeah. I have to go to bed early when I have to get up at 4:30. And it's hard because I'm not exactly a morning person, but I have them to only put me down for 3 days working that shift. So, and this was a full week because I worked Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. I didn't have a day off in the middle of the week. I'm usually, I'll take off on Saturday and Sunday. But last Sunday I had a 4-hour orientation thing for work. So I feel like that was work last Sunday. And yeah, I worked 12. So I worked 3 days, that 5:15 a.m. till noon shift, and then I worked 12 to 4 on what was it? Monday and Friday. Monday and Friday? Or it was Thursday and Friday? No, it was Wednesday and Friday. I think it was Wednesday and Friday. I don't know. My schedule's different every week. So let me find another. Oh, you know what I want to say to you? It was a poem that I did have. Let me find it. I'll say to you a poem from somebody else. Amy Carmichael. I do that sometimes, but mostly I'll say my own. But Amy Carmichael poems, that's what I want to find. Aha. Here's a good poem that I haven't said it in so long or read it in so long. I had it memorized, but I don't remember a lot of it. In my Amy Carmichael book of poems that I had, I think I donated with all my other books to the Friends of the Library. So I'm very much a bookie nerd, like Carrie Pilby. That's why I really related to her in the movie. Not that I'm like a genius or anything, but not a genius. Obviously not a genius, but I am a book nerd. I was a band nerd. Her friend, so the guy she meets, the neighbor, who ends up being, the nicest one she meets, he's a band nerd. He's a musical nerd, I guess, and she's a book nerd. But so this person where this poem is says, this is a poem I've been praying rather frequently for myself. It refocuses my mind and heart on Jesus instead of that subtle love of everything that would steal my affection from the one whom my heart of hearts is truly in love. Okay, this is Amy Carmichael poem called Flame of God. From prayer that asks that I may be sheltered from winds that beat on thee, from fearing when I should aspire, from faltering when I should climb higher, from silken self, O Captain, free thy soldier who would follow thee. From subtle love of softening things, from easy choices, weakenings, not thus are spirits fortified, not this way went the crucified. From all that dims thy Calvary, O Lamb of God, deliver me. Give me the love that leads the way, the faith that nothing can dismay, the hope no disappointments tire, the passion that will burn like fire. Flames. Let me not sink to be a clod, make me thy fuel, flame of God. That's appropriate for the flames, right? That is. I just thought of that. I didn't plan that. Yeah. Good night, Carol. You're at In and Out. Oh, I'm jealous now. Thanks for coming in. Thank you very much, Carol. Appreciate it. Thank you. Thank you. 3 people here, but it's quality that counts. 3 quality people. Thank you all for being here. Y'all, I don't know if Anthony maybe had to go too. Anthony doesn't say when he has to go. He just pops in and he has to go. But I appreciate Anthony too. But I believe, I don't know, I'm guessing. I think the 3 that are here are Elsa Bren and Carol. Well, I don't know. Maybe somebody else is watching. I may have a lurker. Yeah. I may have a stalker. Oh, you guys. So I'm gonna be praying for so speaking of things and difficulties with a public platform, I've gotten a comment from a Muslim person asking me to read the Quran. So we were in a little discussion back and forth about that. So that was interesting. And I've learned so much, being on YouTube. And yeah, I've learned a lot. And like I said, those messages, I'm glad I didn't know about that. So I said I had a message from the date rapist, and it was many years after that happened. I blocked them right after that happened, but I think they probably read my blog or something. He maybe wanted to talk to me about, I shouldn't be saying that, but no, I can say that because that's what it was. And it took me a while to realize that. It took me a while to be able to share that. So, but yeah, very interesting looking through my old messages, and I've started to delete them, some of them. Also, my brother that most recently passed, his ex-wife, and yeah, that was a situation too where I felt like she left him. She had left him. She wasn't with him. And then my other brother that's still living had given her some money too. But I started to think, I was like, she left him. Why? I mean, like, you can be sad he dies, but like, why are you contacting us now, his family, when he's gone? And it's hard when you are a Christian and you want to help people and people know you have a kind heart. And I just like, you have to be careful because there are people that take advantage of that. And there are people that, and like this family member trying to guilt me for not having a relationship with them when it's awful things that she, and what it's just, when I finally did, and it wasn't a good time to listen to the messages when I was at work, because I can't be distracted and upset when I'm at work and I'm trying to do my work. So but it just confirmed that I did do the right thing. And I don't need you don't need toxic people in your life. It's okay to say no. My YouTube is doing this thing again. Yeah, there I am. There I am. Thank you all so much for being here. I've gone an hour already, But someone else I'm going to be praying for, though, is that person that left these comments about reading the Quran. And I can relate because, like, I used to feel I had to, witness to people. I had to tell people. I had to, it's like it's a works salvation. It's it's like we have to work our way to God. I'll read you another one of my poems from here. I've read this to you before, but it's the first one in this book because I used to be zealous about that, like that. I mean, like, I can't imagine, though, going to someone's YouTube. It's like, okay, you feel the need with share with people, then make your own channel or do it on your own platform. Don't come to my platform. And I was like, he commented on one of my William Barclay things and was like, you should read the Quran. And I'm like, that's another thing too. And yeah, it really, yeah. And this was sister-in-law, though, actually, but she left my brother, and they were divorced when he passed away. And I don't remember her going. He was by my parents in Aurora Grande, but then he was by my other brother in Southern California. And I don't remember her coming down there from up north to visit him when he was in the hospital. I didn't ever see her when, I went to Los Angeles. I didn't ever see her again when I went to see my brother in 2018. I saw my brother for the last time is when I saw my dad for the last time too. When I went to California in 2018. And I saw Joyce, but thankfully it wasn't the last time I saw her. So, because when I went out to California in my RV in 2020, when I sold my house in Georgia and left Georgia, went up to the St. Louis area, bought my RV, and then after I paid off all my debt and I paid off my car, and then I sold my car, then I went out to California, and my sister-in-law was in the stage 4 breast cancer, and she was dying. And I was there for the last month of her life, and I was really thankful that I was. So, so this poem's called Fisherman. They've got to believe, I said to God. The Bible's true, they'll go to hell. Trust me, he said, you mustn't yell. And if you know now, I don't believe in hell. I believe everybody will eventually be saved. But God, they could die any day. They've got to believe. I must show them the way. Trust me, he said, I am the way, the truth, and the life. Fishing is a passive sport. Settle down, Susan. You're rocking the boat. I dreamed of fishing and realized God brings them to you, the bait he provides. Do you have something they'll thirst for? You must be salt, but I am the door. Trust me, live a holy life. Always be ready to give a reason, every day and every season. Hold forth the truth and never be a stumbling block to those who would come to me. The end. So in these messages from this toxic family member, like, they were drunk too. And it's in these days, consecutive days, or all these messages from this person. And that's why I was wondering if I should just delete them and not listen to them at all. But I thought that they would confirm that I have done the right thing, and they did. And yes, she was. She felt bad too. She was like, at one point she was like, oh, my, my brothers will pay, and we can have somebody else do this. You don't have to do this. And I was like, I want to do this. I don't have anything else to do. Like, I don't have a job, I'm just traveling my RV. I don't have, rent to pay or anything, It was kind of perfect, really. And I was staying on their property in my RV, and she was letting me use her car. And my brother did give me her car when she passed, but I gave it back to him. When I left there, because I didn't want to tow it, and it was an old car anyways. But yeah. And I don't know. I still don't know. Like, I wanted to know, how much money did you my one remaining living brother, because I had 5 brothers and 4 of them have passed on now. And I wanted to ask him, how much money did he give her? This was my other brother's ex-wife. He didn't tell me. And I'm thinking, like, why won't you tell me? Yeah, the timing of it, and I was away from God too. I was away from God at that time. But that was one of my steps in coming back to God, I feel like. Because she asked me to read her scripture, so I did, and pray with her, and I did. And because she went in the hospital, it was early January 2021 when she passed. And I had gotten there in December. I'd gotten there right after Thanksgiving. I'd spent Thanksgiving with my son here in Denver. It was the first place I came, was in my RV, was here to Denver. Spent Thanksgiving with my son. And then I went to Flagstaff to see my niece was in Flagstaff still. She had gone to college there, and now she moved to Bend, Oregon, where my son is now. My younger son is now. And I went to Flagstaff to see my niece, and then I got a COVID test to make sure I didn't have COVID. That's because I needed to do that before I went to see her, because didn't want to have her exposed to that. So I got a COVID test, and then I got a COVID test in Flagstaff. Jody was telling me told me how to do that, and then proceed with caution. Salt and sugar look the same when that both are good on the rim of a glass. Yeah. Yeah. And she was appreciative, and my brother was appreciative at first, but after she passed, I went back to St. Louis for a month, and then I came back to California, but I wasn't really cooking as much for my brother and stuff. And because I would take the car and I would go to his house and take care of her and stuff. But then, like, when she passed, and for a while, my RV was, I was getting my RV fixed because my bumper was messed up. And then we thought that the electrical was broken, but it really was the house where I was parked at was tripping up the electric on my brother's house, because my brother's smaller house was pretty small, and my RV kept tripping it up, being plugged into his house. And so we thought that was broken, and his mechanic fixed my bumper. He looked at that too, and he said he didn't think there was anything wrong with it. So then after he fixed the bumper, I moved back, and I was in my brother's house, my brother's big house, for a while, for like a month. And then I was back in my RV, and then I went to St. Louis for a month, back to St. Louis to babysit my friend's dog and watch her house while she went out of town. And then came back, and my friend from St. Louis that is in St. Louis came here, and we went to, I went live from Palm Springs. So, and then, I wasn't really spending that much time with my brother and stuff. And I ended up leaving my brothers, and it was upsetting. He got involved with someone, but thankfully he's not with that person anymore. It was too soon, right after his wife passed. He got involved with someone who I thought was a renter, staying in the smaller house, because my nephew had been living there, and he moved into the bigger house when his mom passed. And it was just kind of ended up being a mess. And it was kind of sad, but it got me to take off in my RV. And it's like I wanted to go see more stuff in my RV, so it was a blessing. It was like what Brent says here when I was talking about something else, things happen for a reason. And it got me going because I was just sitting there, and it was like I wanted to go explore in my RV. And so then I did, and I went up, and that's when I went to Klamath, and then I went to a meetup in Oregon. That's where I met More Bang for Your Bucks, because I was down in Southern California, but like I was busy. I was taking care of my sister-in-law, and I never met Tim of More Bang for Your Bucks until we were both at the meetup in Oregon. So it's late there. Oh, I thought you were putting the time. So anyways, I think I'm going to pray and let y'all go. It is 8:00 here, but it's getting late out. It's getting late on the East Coast. So Tim, my favorite hymn. Prayer alarm. Oh. Is that when your birthday is? Oh, you did say that before. Your birthday's on 9/11. Okay. Yeah, it's kind of late. My son. Oh, 10:01. See, that's too. It's late to put 10:13 is mine. But my one son that needs a lot of prayer his birthday's in June, so it's 6, and it's like it's perfect time because I'm off work, and it's not too late at night when I need to go to bed. Like my other son's birthday is the 14th, and Yeah. And so 9:14 is too late. Especially if I have to, and if it's 9:14 in the morning, then I'm usually at work. But sometimes I'll set it so. Oh, on 4:18. Oh, 5:18. Wow. Happy early birthday. I always think my brother Chris loved the Beatles. And I think he was, wait, I'm trying to think how old he was. He was born in he was born in 1955. He didn't make it. He passed at 63, my brother Christopher. But I always thought of that song. Will you still need me? Will you still feed me? When I'm 64. Oh, you'll be 65. Ah, will you still need me? Will you still feed me when I'm 64? So yeah, and my other brother mentioned Michelle My Belle. That was his wife, ex-wife, anyways. But anyways, yeah, I put a picture of my brother. I should share that on my community tab. I was like, I've been sharing like other people's Instagrams on my community tab, and I'm like, why don't I share my own Instagram? I put a picture of Chris and I that my mom took in like the 80s. I think it was when my grandfather passed, actually, 1982, on my Instagram, and I put the song uh, "Here Comes the Sun," the Beatles, yeah. And that is where I went when I went to London. I went to Abbey Road Studios, and I got this little submarine because my brother Chris loved the Beatles. So, but yeah. So that's my story, y'all, about all the people I'm disconnected from in my family because they're either gone on, like in the movie, Carrie Poe movie, and then she said at the end of her prayer, she was like, I'm not sure if my mom is with you, but this was my grandmother's birthday, May 19th. She said, I'm not sure if my mom is with you, but if she is, will you please tell her I miss her? And I just thought it was so sweet. And I thought it was so sweet that I thought about, like, should I watch the rest of this movie? And I was like, no, I'm about to go live. I shouldn't watch the rest of this movie. And I never thought, that because it really is an unusual occurrence in movies. Sometimes it's in movies, but I do like it when it's in movies. And oh, and you know what else she said when she that wasn't the end of the prayer. That wasn't the end of the prayer. And the care, like, watch this movie, you guys. It's a good movie. And then she says, and by the way, happy birthday. Happy birthday, Jesus. It was Christmas. So, and this is what I went back and forth. If you'd like to see, I didn't block him, so his comments are still there. And when I pray, I'm going to pray for Banana Cat. Pray for Banana Cat. Yeah, I told him, I was like, that's the best-selling book. He was not impressed with the Bible. I don't think he really read it. I don't really think he knows it at all. Um, you know, I think it odd of a person to come to my, and I've had another religious person that's in a like cult, like Christian cult, saying that you should not work on the Sabbath, follow the Old Testament law. And this woman who has a channel, but still she has her own channel, but she's coming to my channel to tell me I'm wrong and judge me. It's a crazy world, y'all. A lot of people to pray for. A lot of people to pray for. I have 5 watching now. It's like, why, like the numbers always go up like when I'm about to finish, I'm about to finish. But yeah. So let me pray and let you all go. But I'll be back. So I've been trying to work better on my devotionals, and I've done them this way now. I'm not doing them this way. And I'm editing some of them, and then I'll do them as a premiere. And I've pretty much been doing them at like 5:00. So it seems to be a pretty good time. So that's when I'm doing the William Barclay devotional. All right, I'm going to pray for y'all and let you go. Dear Lord, thank you for all your blessings on us, Lord. I thank you for these YouTube followers. I pray that you would bless them and be with them. I pray you would bless all our children, Lord, and our grandchildren, and thank you for them. Thank you for all your blessings on me and on all of us, Lord. Thank you for my job. Thank you for helping me to do it well. Thank you for my car. Thank you for my apartment, Lord. Thank you for Bren. Thank you that she's going to be 65 this month. I pray you bless her and her family and be with her. And Lord, if the duckie's still alive, help her to find her duckie, her lost duckie. Dear Lord, I pray for Elsa again, and I pray that you would be with her and help us all in our relationships with our children, Lord. Help me in my relationship with my children. And I just pray that you would be with her and help her in that situation. I pray you bless Carol, keep her safe as she travels. Thank you for the blessing she is, and thank you for her helping people, Lord, like Teresa. And I pray that you would continue to help Teresa to find, to get her van fixed up. And thank you that Carol was able to help her and that we were able to help her through giving to Carol. And I just thank you for her. I pray for Anthony, Lord, that you would bless him and his family, keep him safe as he travels. Thank you for the blessing he is to me. And he's one constant moderator, Lord, and I thank you for him. And I pray you bless him. Lord, I pray for Banana Cat, Lord. I don't know who this person is, Lord, but I pray that you would guide them into truth, Lord, and help them to see there's no need to go to people's channels and tell them what to read. It's really silly, Lord. I pray that you would just bring light into this person's life, Lord, and help them to know the truth, and that the truth would set them free, Lord. And I pray for that person. I pray for my family members that are remaining, my remaining siblings, and the toxic person that has stalked me in the past, Lord. I pray that you would give them peace, that they would stop, that they would be concerned with things in their own life and their own hobbies and their own things, but I just pray that you would give them peace, that they would see no need to attack me or stalk me, Lord, and make fake accounts and all this silliness, Lord. I just pray that you would bless them. I pray that you would bless them. Lord, I thank you for my parents, even though they're gone, Lord, and I just thank you for the ways that they have blessed me, Lord. They weren't perfect. They weren't perfect. They made mistakes, Lord, but I still thank you for them. And for my children and my grandchildren, I pray you bless them, Lord. And my in-laws, I pray you be with them and keep them healthy and bless them, Lord. And I pray for my ex, Lord. I pray that you would bless him, Lord. I pray that he would stop drinking. Lord, I even pray for, the difficult people that bother us in our lives, Lord. Help us in dealing with them. Give us wisdom and help us all to know when to say no and when to say yes, and always to remember to pray for people. Hello, Lisa. Thank you for being here, Lord. I pray you bless Lisa. Thank you that she was coming in, and that you can watch the replay. Thank you for being here. Thank you for praying for me. I pray these things in Jesus' name. Amen. So, yeah. I try to remember to pray for bullies and trolls and people that leave odd comments telling you what to read. But it's under one of my, let me see. Let me put the link to the thing it's under. If you'd like to read my discourse, I thought of reading it to you, actually. I probably won't read it to you, but if you'd like to read it, I'm going to leave it under my, it's under one of my William Barclay's. Let me share which one it is. I need to go to the comment to see which one it's under. I'll put the link in so you can see which one it's under. Okay, it's under After Half a Century, that one. Let me see. I'll share the link to it. So if you're interested, you can pray for Banana Cat also. So it's one of my William Barclay daily celebration. I'll put it here. And it is, did I put the date on that one? It is the one, What You Learn After Half a Century. That one. And that has the comment. We went on, and then I finally said, this is the end of this discussion. Please stop or I will have to block you. That's what I said. Because I don't want to argue. I said, I feel sad for you that you feel the need to argue over the Bible versus the Quran. He says read the Quran. I said read the Bible. I've read some of the Quran, but I'm not, and I actually did date a Muslim man. I didn't tell him that. That was not pertinent. I didn't think it was pertinent, but I did think of that. But I'm probably going to share about a book I read because of Muhammad, because of the Muslim man I dated. Okay. Don't say you don't have them. The replay will have the name of the pocket watch train time travel movie forgot again. Oh, I remember. I said I remember and I don't. All About Time? Oh, no. Out of Time? Time. Something with time in it. Hi, Tanita. Hi. How are you? Good to see you. Hello. A friend from Georgia. I have friends from Georgia that pop in on Facebook usually. Hello. Message me. How are things going? Wow. Still waiting. Oh my goodness. That's crazy. When did I meet you, Tanita? In, was it 2017? Was that 2017? I finally got divorced in 2018. I think that was 2017. Okay, that's right, 2017. Wow. Well, I'm hoping no news is good news. Yeah, I don't want to say, so you have to message me, Tanita. But it's good to see you. Thank you so much for popping in. Speaking of prayer, yeah, I've been off and on, of course, when I was mad at God. It was really, really stupid. Like, how does this make sense, you guys? Okay. Like I'm mad. When I thought about it later, I was like, that really is silly because, like, okay, I'm mad, God, because my kids aren't talking to me, so I'm not going to talk to you anymore. So I'm thankful it was only 2 years God got my attention. God came after me, like I say. He left 99, left them all behind to find me. He came after me. I still have this cat. Speaking of Banana Cat, what a strange name for a YouTube channel, Banana Cat. See my red kitty? But yeah. Oh, message me, Tanita. Yeah. Yeah, let me pray for you right now. Dear Lord, I lift up Tanita to you. You know the situation, Lord. And I honestly haven't remembered to pray for you a long time. So I'm so glad you popped in here, because I'll be praying when I remember. I do pray about it when I talk to you. So thank you so much for popping in. Lord, please help in this situation, Lord, and give her favor, and let there be true justice, Lord. And I just pray over Tanita, Lord, that you'd bless her, Lord, and be with her and her family. And thank you that we met in 2017, Lord. And I thank you for that situation, and that I was be able to do that at that time, and that I met her. And I just pray that you would work in this situation. I thank you that you are working in this situation, Lord, and that you would give her favor. I pray these things in Jesus' name. Amen. Even your shadow leaves you in. What are you talking about? Even your shadow leaves you in the dark. Even your shadow leaves you in the dark. It's a love story. Yeah, I found the movie that you were talking about. All About Time. Movie. I can't remember the name of the movie either that you were talking about. In Time, Out of Time? Is it Out of Time? There's a Tim, Tim, another movie about a robot. All right. I am going to let you go now. Thank you all for coming in. There's 6 watching now. So the longer I wait, the more people will be watching. Oh. Brain didn't put that right. I'm sorry, Elsa. All right, I'm going to go. I've almost gone 2 hours now. Yes, everybody enjoy your weekend. Thank you all for coming in. You can message me, Tanita, on Facebook. And I love you all. Don't say that no one cares for you, because I do, and God does too. Don't forget to pray for Red, because Red is praying for you. Bye. Good night. I'll see you every day with William Barclay's Daily Celebration, okay?